What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Rats Report. It is time to talk about the Toronto Raptors because we've got some big news regarding Rj Barrett. So we're going to be discussing that in today's video. If you're ready to watch, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to RS Bandy. So RS Bandy, thank you so much for supporting this channel. To your likes and comments, it is very much appreciated. Now, as soon as the Raptors acquired Brandon Ingram, one of the things I have stated on this channel, even well before actually even Brandon Ingram got traded here, was if the Raptors do trade for Brandon Ingram, do not be surprised if the Raptors move off of RJ Barrett. That is a name I just absolutely see the Raptors moving off of. And now that the Raptors have extended Brandon Ingram, there's no surprise that rumors came out today, according to Jake L. Fisher, that Raptors report, or Raptors update, excuse me, was reporting on Instagram that RJ Barrett is a player to monitor as a potential trade candidate this offseason, according to Jake Fisher. Now, why RJ Barrett? It's a question I kept getting from a lot of people in the comment section. Why not just trade Emmanuel quickly? Well, when you think of the Raptors starting five of Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel quickly, you have to understand that Jakob doesn't shoot threes. Scotty hasn't been great this season. And RJ Barrett, I mean, he can shoot threes, but that's not necessarily the strong point of his game. And why would you keep Emmanuel quickly over RJ Barrett is another question I've gotten asked for one simple reason and one simple reason only. The Raptors are not a good three-point shooting team. When we talk about the Raptors, they're ranked 23rd in the NBA shooting, about 35% from the three-point line, which is terrible for today's NBA. And just considering who they have in the starting lineup, they need three-point shooting. And even specifically someone like Emmanuel quickly, he's a good catch and shoot three-point shooter, but he's someone that can, take 7, 8, 9 threes and still hit about 39-40% of his threes as well. So we saw a bit of those glimpses last night of how when Emmanuel quickly is healthy and he's going, he can impact the game a lot on the offensive side. And you need that around Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl as well. You need three-point shooters, and that's just the way it goes. Now, to quickly summarize RJ Barrett's contract, why would the Raptors look to move off of him? He's a very tradable contract. You can even make the argument more tradable than Emmanuel quickly. So you see that he's making approximately $25.7 million this season. He's making $27.7 million next season. And the following season, he's making $29.6 million. Now, it's quite obvious why the Raptors are doing this. When you take a look at their salary cap situation, you have to understand that the Raptors are very close to the luxury tax. Now, Raptors' salary cap has not been updated, but I did calculate the numbers. If you look at the green box down there for next season, the Raptors are expected as a team to be at $176.2 million, nearly $176.3 million as a team, and the luxury tax will be set at $187 million, which gives the Raptors approximately about a little over $10 million to spend. Now, this doesn't seem like a big issue. Again, this salary cap here is not updated with Jamison Battle or Brandon Ingram's salary, so that's why I added those two salaries for next season. Now, why does this seem like a big deal? For one simple reason only, the Raptors will be very likely drafting in the top 10, and look at how much money the players will be making drafted in the top 10. And again, realistically, the Raptors probably will finish anywhere from 5 to 7, which is about $7 to $6 million that you're paying your top pick. And then you add on that money, it doesn't give you a ton of money to fill out your remaining 3, 4 roster spots for the Toronto Raptors, and they're undoubtedly going to be in the luxury tax. So when we talk about trading RJ Barrett, these are where the problems occur for several reasons. Not only do the Raptors need three-point shooting, when you take a look at how much the Raptors will potentially have to pay RJ Barrett on his new contract, it's probably going to be in the $30 million. And one of the reasons the Raptors needed RJ Barrett was for his offensive skill set. He's not a great defensive player, but the Raptors, just considering they now have Brandon Ingram to pretty much just replace, let's be honest, RJ Barrett's offensive skill set and then some to give you a lot more isolation scoring as well. RJ becomes, unfortunately, very expendable as well. And if I'm the Toronto Raptors, you do initiate this, player, RJ Barrett in this particular case, and maybe, for certain parts you need on a team like the Toronto Raptors, maybe you look to get a more athletic center, and then you can look to trade off Jakob Poeltl for more defensive help, particularly maybe at the shooting guard position, small forward position. There's certain parts you can kind of move around and jiggle around to fix what your team needs are. Now, I know it really is unfortunate that RJ Barrett is a player that's likely to get moved, considering you take into consider all of the things that happened last year after he was traded to the Raptors. The Raptors were tanking. He didn't have to play through the injuries. He talked about how hard it was. he had his loss of his brother, and then he still came back and played. It was a tanking season. He didn't have to play at all. He could have simply just sat out. He played his heart out. And even earlier this season, when Scotty Barnes was injured, he was carrying the Raptors offensively. So look, there are definitely some limitations to RJ Barrett's game on both the offensive and defensive side, but we cannot deny he has a big heart, and he's absolutely been a huge glue guy on this team as well. But just the way that the new NBA operates, it's very unfortunate because you cannot get attached to players. You cannot not simply trade players because you like the player. It's simply you have to construct your team roster according to salary cap moving forward. We've seen this past trade deadline how many teams wanted to trade for specific players, but then money becomes an issue because they're in the luxury tax or simply because they do not wish to go into the first and second apron as well. So again, it's very challenging moving forward, but that's just the way the new NBA, unfortunately, is going to operate. You're going to have to move a lot of players like RJ Barrett if they're not, part of your core moving forward. But I'm very, kind of sad to hear this, but I did predict it even in my several previous videos as well. I'm very curious to hear what you think. There's no trivia question for today, but if you do want to shout out, I know a lot of you guys do not get the chance to get shout outs right away or answer the trivia questions or even watch the videos right away. I will give you this opportunity. If you want a shout out, just comment down below. I'll give you a shout out in my next video as well. So that will be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.